Are you a woman in midlife feeling like time is speeding up? Discover my simple anti-aging system that addresses the hidden factors affecting your biological clock, from sleep quality to lifestyle choices. In this video, I'll reveal easy to implement strategies that can help you feel more vibrant and youthful. Learn how to embrace this transformative stage of life and unlock your body's natural ability to age gracefully. And if you're new here, I'm Dr. Gayla Gorman, a licensed acupuncturist, naturopath, and author of What's Your Kryptonite? On this channel, I'm here to help you reverse the effects of chronic stress so that you can cruise through midlife and beyond symptom-free, so that you can put an end to common midlife symptoms like chronic fatigue, insomnia, mood swings, issues with gut health, and even weight gain. Let's get started by talking about the key habits that many longevity experts recommend you adopt, starting with intermittent fasting. So this is something that I really lean into and talk a lot about here on the channel. I recommend it, use it myself, have been using it for decades, but also just recommend it for mature women. It's a game changer, honestly. So you can skip one meal a day or practice some other form of time-restricted eating. I will just say here that many people find that they end up skipping breakfast and thinking that they can eat later into the day, and that is the equivalent. And I will say that that is not the case, that you still need to practice early time restricted eating, and then you can control how many meals you eat and your overall eating window. The next thing would be regular exercise. And so it's really important to get at least 30 minutes of movement every day. If you sit a lot, 30 minutes is probably not even going to be enough. I found that I had to get a treadmill desk. And so when I'm just working on things that are easy to take care of at my desk, I walk, and I find that I can walk 5 miles on my treadmill desk, and I just feel so much better and really still get the equivalent amount of productivity out of it, if not more, honestly. And so you really want to be leaning into more gentle exercise, especially if you're already feeling like you're kind of running on fumes. You don't want to be putting more stress on your adrenals and spiking your cortisol even more. And so gentle exercise like walking or yoga, some form of restorative yoga, can be really helpful. There are times, and in this 20 to 30 minute period, if you find that you're not feeling already super fatigued, just generally, then practicing some sort of more intense activity during this 30 minutes that kind of leaves you out of breath can be really helpful. Even if you can just do that for about 10 minutes, if you're just at home, calisthenics can even get the job done, and you just need to do that a few times a week. The other thing that a lot of longevity experts recommend is exposure to extreme temperatures. So taking cold showers or using a sauna to activate these pathways. I am a big fan of the infrared sauna and use a sauna really regularly. What you want to make sure with a sauna is that you are in the sauna to the point where you're producing sweat. An infrared sauna heats you up from the inside out, and so you have to sweat. That's the whole idea, that you're wanting to expel these toxins. And so a lot of people sit in a sauna and they don't like to feel sweaty and they don't want to get the sauna messy. And it's like, that's not the point. You have to be willing to sweat. That is what's really getting the job done. The cold showers are a different story. That basically is kind of trying to shock your system and put your body under hormetic stress, essentially good stress. But again, if you are already under stress, then that could be too much for you. The next thing I want to talk about here is how to follow like a more comprehensive lifestyle adjustment program. And that's what I typically recommend. I have a program called the Human Energy System Reboot, and it's just a quick little 10-day program. You can find a link to that in my bio or the description of a video here. But one of the ways that we initiate a human energy system reboot is by avoiding what I refer to as the Fierce Five. And this is dairy, gluten, yeast, sugar, and alcohol. And I talk more in depth about this in other videos. So I'm not going to go into this in depth here, but just know that those are the 5 things that I have found really create a buildup of toxicity in your body and put your body under additional stress. And you don't have to eliminate them completely, but taking a period of time where you allow your body to rest from being regularly bombarded with these things that don't agree with you can be really helpful. The next thing we want to really prioritize, again, this is another way we initiate a human energy system reboot, is to prioritize getting 7+ hours of quality sleep every night. In a pair of studies published by UCLA researchers, menopause accelerates biological aging, and insomnia that often accompanies menopause also has a clear association with age acceleration. So these findings suggest that both factors increase women's risk for aging-related diseases, and that could even lead to an earlier demise. So we definitely do not want to follow down that path. The 2 studies published in separate journals contribute to this increasing evidence of the biological clock's variability. The menopause study was published in the Proceedings of the National Academy of Sciences, and one of the quotes from the publication was this that I thought was interesting. For decades, scientists have disagreed over whether menopause causes aging or aging causes menopause. And it was Steve Horvath who said this, and he's a professor of human genetics and biostatistics at the David Geffen School of Medicine at UCLA, and the senior author on both of these studies. And I use this term a lot. It's like the chicken or the egg, which came first. And so the study was the first to demonstrate that menopause actually makes you age faster. So, you feel like you're aging as you move into menopause, and then menopause accelerates that. So we definitely need to find ways to halt that acceleration of aging and then start moving things in the other direction. And that is what this video is all about. How do we reverse the effects of aging? So some of the negative effects caused by sleep deprivation is that it activates genes associated with biological aging, and even one night of partial sleep deprivation can trigger molecular pathways linked to accelerated aging. So the process involves increasing accumulation of cellular damage, and then this leads to enhanced cellular senescence and shortening of telomeres. You may have heard of telomeres as they relate to aging. This is basically part of our DNA structure that is something that basically is part of our body's ability to do all the repair and maintenance and to stave off aging. It also contributes to alterations in the telomerase activity and even acceleration of epigenetic aging. So really, sleep is just so critical. Poor sleep doesn't just affect your cellular things happening internally in your body, it also affects your skin appearance. So as the effects of insomnia accumulate, you will find that your skin just starts to look kind of sallow, and bags under your eyes, that sort of thing. So, this is something we really want to avoid. And what's going on internally is that you've got a cardiovascular system that is being stressed, and there's increased risk of heart disease, high blood pressure, your immune system is being stressed, and this is weakening your defenses against infections, your metabolic health, which is contributing to not only your ability to produce energy, your cellular health, but also then is leading to a higher risk of obesity and even potentially type 2 diabetes. This is also affecting your cognitive function. It's messing with your memory and even increasing your risk of dementia. The long-term consequences of chronic sleep disturbance can even lead to other age-related conditions, and biologically women are found to be about 2 years older than their chronological age when they're not sleeping well. Consistency sleeping 6 hours or less a night in middle age is associated with a 30% higher risk of dementia later in life. So sleep is just absolutely non-negotiable. And if you want to look into what I recommend to improve your sleep, I've got lots of videos on this channel that really talk about the importance of sleep and some hacks that you can use to improve it. So for women in menopause, sleep issues also contribute to premature aging. And we've talked about this a moment ago, that menopause itself accelerates biological aging. And then the insomnia that accompanies menopause kind of amplifies the problem. So these factors combined really increase women's risk for aging-related diseases. And it's important to understand the connection between sleep and premature aging so that you really prioritize the kinds of sleep habits, these good sleep habits that are crucial parts of your anti-aging strategy. Addressing sleep issues, especially in midlife, can help mitigate the risk of accelerated aging and age-related diseases. So one of the ways that we really help our bodies to offset the effects of stress and even promote sleep is by practicing relaxation techniques. These include yoga, meditation, breathing exercises. All of this can really support your body and help it to manage stress. And then as you manage stress, you're going to find that your sleep becomes more sound again. So as we are sort of starting to talk about the importance of managing stress and prioritizing sleep, just know that an acceleration of stress leads to biological aging and can potentially add almost 2 years to a person's biological age. So now we added 2 years previously with poor sleep, and now we just added almost another 2 years with chronic stress. And so it's just really important that we learn to manage stress and reverse the effects of that. Periods of rest and relaxation can definitely help to restore telomere length and is a key indicator of cellular aging. So it's really interesting because what I just told you here was that anything can be healed. We can reverse these effects. You can restore the length of your telomeres. You can restore your skin to beautiful health. You can restore your metabolic system. But just know that there have been lots of studies recently that really have uncovered a surprising link between stress and our biological age. And so this research in cell metabolism found that stressful events can temporarily increase our biological age, but the good news, these effects may be reversible once the stressors are removed and once we start practicing some of these things that give our bodies an extended period of time to heal. Understanding this connection helps us avoid premature aging. So managing stress effectively could be a key factor in maintaining youthful appearance and vitality. This is just an example of one of the countless ways stress creates symptoms and other health issues, especially during midlife. I created a video that shows you how to eliminate these symptoms naturally, so I'll make sure to link to it below this video, but make sure you hit subscribe too, because I share a lot of tips when it comes to dealing with stress that's become toxic. Relieving the nasty symptoms stress creates makes cruising through midlife a breeze. So I just want to share a couple more tips for how you really reverse the effects of stress and keep the aging process at bay. And one of those ways we do that is by really prioritizing the fuel that we're bringing in our body, and that is essentially hydration and nutrition. So we want to make sure that we're staying well hydrated with high quality water and appropriate quantity. This is another one of the ways we practice in the Human Energy System Reboot. So watch that video I mentioned a moment ago, and I'll talk to you more about the reboot. We want to make sure that we're consuming enough protein and good fats. Again, this is another one of the ways we initiate a Human Energy System Reboot. And then we're going to want to limit processed foods and make sure that we're reading the labels. We want to know what is in the foods and the things that we're consuming, that we're putting into our body. And we're basically asking our body to turn what we're consuming into energy. So it would make sense that we wanted to give it high quality and sufficient raw building blocks to work with, right? The other thing we want to do is regularly engage in brain boosting activities. So we want to always be learning new skills. So I'm a lifelong learner, and I hope you are too. Just watching this video indicates that you love to get new information and learn new things. And so learning new skills is really helpful to keep your brain young and active, and your brain being young and active is just as important as keeping your body mobile and active. You also want to stay socially active, travel and adventure. Having fun is really important and makes life worth living, and a life worth living makes you want to stick around longer, right? The other thing is use some meditation technology. If you find that just sitting for an extended period of time in meditation is just not your jam, then you can use technology assisted meditation that will really help you get the job done and really will improve your brain's activity and capacity if you practice it long term and consistently. So if your best efforts to live a healthy lifestyle and do all the things you've been led to think are supposed to work, like some of the stuff I've talked about in this video, aren't getting the job done, you may even be feeling like you take 2 steps forward and 3 back. In my next video, I'll show you how to manage the toxic stress that's sabotaging your efforts. You can eliminate the symptoms that seem to be piling up in midlife naturally without medication, crazy diets, intense exercise, or any other unsustainable lifestyle hack.